Hey y'all, it's Danielle from Black Business Boom and Black on Nashville, and I'm so excited to have our expert therapist, Erica Kesse, the entrepreneur's therapist, joining us today as we're going to be talking about setting boundaries and how to avoid overextending ourselves, being exhausted, and all the things that a lot of us do to ourselves. And not protect ourselves as we should. So Erica has been an amazing resource for me and counseling me and helping me through this journey. So I'm super excited to have her, as part of the community and come and educate us on this beautiful day. How are you today, Erica?
I am doing wonderful. I'm so happy to be here. You coming up in the world, and I'm so happy to be around.
I'm telling you. Well, I'm gonna tell you, I am exhausted today. And so I need this message from Erica more than anybody probably. But I woke up this morning to a beautiful email from her telling me
Oh,
to get myself together. And so I'm excited again to be having this conversation as we just go into everyone, it seems like is catching up from COVID. And most of the
yes.
people that I know feel like they're overextended. So I'm like, how do we avoid that? How do we protect ourselves? And I think a lot of us are trying to be intentional about doing it and falling short. So, Erica, let's hop on in. What tips can you give us on setting the proper boundaries to keep ourselves from burnout?
Okay, so first of all, we don't learn to set boundaries because when you grow up, you say you don't want to do things that your parent asked you to do, right? But you don't feel like you can say no, right? And you learn first off not to, or if you say no, you get in trouble, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then you grow up and you're someone who don't say no to individuals. That is called having porous boundaries. If you have rigid boundaries, that's when you decide that you're not going to let anybody in. You just, I'm saying no to everything. I just will
Mm-hmm.
not, because you've had something that's happened that's caused you to get rigid. So there's
Mm-hmm.
porous when you just say yes to everything, or you feel guilty that you said no to something, or somebody has sent something to you, you're in the middle of doing your own thing, and you go ahead and drop that and go ahead and focus on somebody else. That's porous boundary. So that's the first tip, knowing what kind of boundaries you have and identifying that. Or do you have porous boundaries? Do you have rigid boundaries, or do you have healthy boundaries? Is when you are able to know exactly how you feel, right? And if you want to say yes or no, you ask yourself that. And you're okay with asserting and telling that person, no, I cannot do this. And you don't even have to give, guess what? You don't even owe nobody no explanation as to why it's no.
Oh, Erica, Lord, because that's the thing. A lot of us are that person that feels like if I'm going to say no, I have to have a reason for why, not just based on how I feel or not based on my circumstances. Like it feels like I got to have a good reason for why I'm saying no, or they going to be mad at me, or they not going to like me,
Mm.
or whatever those things are. And so, what are some ways that we can start to feel comfortable with not doing what people want us to do or what we think people want us to do to keep them happy or being those people pleasers?
Ooh, okay. So, what you can do with being a people pleaser is knowing, first of all, that that's what you are, and not being happy about that. The reason why you're a people pleaser is because you probably are empathetic and you think, I want to help people. I really want to make sure that they're okay. But the same amount of empathy that you give others, which you know so well on how to do, you also should give it to yourself first. So the same skill set. When you worry about somebody not liking you, are you making sure you like yourself? You worried about somebody being upset that you didn't do something for them? Are you really putting it all in and doing the things that you need to do for yourself? And for individuals who say, or you feel like they're going to have a problem with you saying no, then they may not be the right fit person to be around you. They may not be someone who deserves what you are offering, the help that you're offering.
Mhm.
Individuals who will respect you, okay? They will respect you and understand that you have to do the things that you need to do for yourself. And another thing, it's sometimes not even people, right? It be our own fears.
Mhm. Mhm. Yep, you're right. You're right, Erica. You absolutely right. You speaking to me today, like for real. Now, I think this also translates to business because sometimes we say yes to opportunities that do not align with where we're going in our business. And that can be a struggle as well, especially as you're growing a business. You are just like thirsty and hungry, for the money, for the opportunity, for the exposure, for these things that don't necessarily translate to the bottom line or don't align with the mission and vision of your business. So, how do we as business owners start to also understand what the boundaries are should be for us running our business to ensure that we're not accepting opportunities that don't align with us? And then how do we gracefully turn down those opportunities?
Okay, so first of all, you must know your vision. I just know a lot of entrepreneurs. When I speak to them, they don't even know what a vision is. They'll say they have a mission, but they have no idea what their vision. So the vision is the big picture, that is the big, beautiful, emotional picture of your legacy in the long run, way off in the horizon. That's what your vision is. You need to tap into that and understand if that particular opportunity going to get you there. It's going to get you to your vision. And this, Danielle, because Danielle coached me. She kept telling me all the time, where's the money? Like, where the money at? Like, you're doing all these things to help people, but what, like, in the long run, keeping the end in mind, that vision of how is this going to feed me, right? How is this going to let me go on vacation? How is this going to enhance my life in any kind of way? If it's not going to take me to somewhere, thinking about that customer journey, if it's not going to take them to them getting a course, them getting buying something, money, right? That we all need some money. We all got bills to pay, all right? If it's
Mhm.
not getting you there as an entrepreneur, then you're not doing the right things. I just had a client come up and say, I want to start this business. This is the idea. I want to do a nonprofit. I said, this is not a nonprofit. This is a for-profit business. You can put some money over there as soon as you make some money, but this is a for-profit business you're talking about. Anyway.
Revenue generating opportunities. And you're right, because I'm like everybody I coach, it's that same thing. Like, how's this getting us to the money? I only coach based on my own experience in that I have spent a lot of time not making a lot of money and helping people and trying to make an impact and focus on the community and blah 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 when we all have to eat, as you said. And so I think we also we feel bad again, and especially as women in business, I think
Come
there's
on.
another layer that we have to deal with
Talk
as
about it.
women, where we are like, we just want to help people and nurture and all these things. I find that men are more like, what's the bottom line? How much does it pay? Like, nope, not available. Can't do it. Where women, for some reason, we have that empathy, we have that nurturing spirit. We want to help the community, and we feel bad if the things that we're doing are centered around money and ourselves, and we feel selfish, and that shouldn't be the case. But how do we communicate to others, when it's not something, and you are really good at this, like, how do we verbalize when it's an opportunity
Listen,
that's not in line with the mission?
you know, we have to be courageous and brave enough to say boundaries is about being brave. It's about you being brave enough to say, this doesn't fit for me. This is actually going to do harm to me. Um, Me spiraling and doing all these things where I'm speaking and not getting paid or whatever else, it's not going to get me anywhere. Like, can I have something out of this circumstance?
Mhm.
Like, you get to have reciprocity in everything that you do, even your relationship with yourself. You do something, you should get something back from it, something.
Mhm.
And that's not selfish. Let's go back to that. We learn that you're being selfish if you don't do that, but you're going to end up somewhere homeless or whatever the circumstances, and no one's going to be there to help you. Because another thing that I learned is the more valuable that I see myself, the more valuable that people see me.
Ah, Erica. Yes. Yes. I mean, it's even, this is something that I talk about when I talk about pricing and things like that, is that a lot of times we're fearful to even charge the price because we're scared of how other people are going to receive it. We don't believe it ourselves. We got to believe in ourselves and believe it ourselves first. And so I think that's so important. How do we tap into our fears? Because I think that many times we're fearful of rejection, we're fearful of how people will receive things, what people will think about us, all these things. And those are the fear is really what's keeping us from setting boundaries. But sometimes we aren't real with ourselves in order to really say, I'm scared to price at this amount, or I'm scared to say no because of this. How do we identify and tap into those fears and then work to overcome
There's so many ways to do this. I would love to interact with people, but I'm going to give you all a couple tips into tapping into your fear. First of all, if you really get to know your fear, like understand what kind of fear it is. Is it fear of success? Is it fear of failure? Is it fear of not
them?
mattering? Is it fear of being alone? Is it fear of abandonment? What is the fear? Like, tap into knowing what it is, and what is your fear saying? What is those whispers in your ear about that's talking to you? Then after you know it, okay, you have to know it. You can
Mhm.
start telling it through first affirmations, telling it the opposite of what it's saying to you, reminding it of who you are and how powerful you are and how successful you are and what you did, all your successes, and stop having success amnesia, first of all. Okay.
Mhm.
Um, then the tech, other than affirmations, giving it a name, naming it. Like, for example, I named my anxiety Fred, and he's like this little, he just always got me busy, just asking me to do stuff because that's how I subside the anxiety, right? But I have to
Mhm.
tell Fred to sit down. So give it a name, and it kind of minimizes it, and gives and lets it know that it's separate from you. You are not your
Mhm.
fear. You are powerful. You are amazing. You tell yourself these affirmations. You say that I'm loved. Now, and then lastly, I want you to understand that there is fear and there is love. This is the conflict. If you
Mhm.
can find love in the circumstance. So if you fear that someone, for example, is going to be upset with you, or you feel like you're going to be alone if you don't say yes to things, then what is it that you can say that you need to do? Ultimately, you probably need to work on your own self-love, and then individuals will think that you're the best thing since sliced bread because you are
Cause
just
you do.
you just bubble in with love,
Yeah.
and they want to be around you. It's like, oh, I
Mhm.
can't wait to be around her. And it feels like that. So those are the three things that I would say about that fear thing. But it's gonna always creep in. It's part of us, but we have to embrace it, not reject it. A lot of times we wanted to say, because fear is helpful in some kind of
Yeah.
ways. We need fear to survive, right?
And sometimes we just want to act like it's not. Like I said, first we have to admit it. I am scared of these things, And I really, next month, I really want us to talk about that fear of success because that's one that folks don't talk about enough, and how we self sabotage in ways, so because we are scared of what success will look like. We're
Because you
scared
never
of the
seen it
type of
before.
work that we got to put in once we are successful. We're scared to build the team because that, like there's so many things, and we talk ourselves out of the things that we need to do to truly be successful because we're scared of what that's going to mean for us, what that's going to mean for our family, how people are going to look at us
Yes.
around that, like she thinks she all that, and that could, like, there's so many things. And I, again, I talk to y'all like about the things that I've experienced, or people who I coach experience, because there are real things that we have to overcome. And as you know, Erica, these are real things that are keeping us from our true potential and from the money. Like, because
It is. You got a
we
personal problem. You do not have a business problem. You need to deal with your personal
yes,
problem.
and that is why I love you, because that is the truth. Many times we are self-sabotaging. We have things internally we have to deal with, and those things are keeping us from the money. And that it can be something as simple as procrastination and understanding, why do we do that, and there's a reason. I think I learned that from you, that there is a reason why you are procrastinating. It's self sabotage. In the end, you setting yourself up to be in a tizzy and try it, and you will likely not be as successful in whatever you're trying to accomplish because you put it off. And so we got to start to be real and transparent about these things, and not always just show the good side of being, successful in business or successful in your career, because these same themes show up within our professional careers as well. We're scared to go ask for the increase, or we're scared to negotiate the pay when we get the offer letter. I've been down all these roads there, and again, it's all leading us or not leading us towards the success that we say that we want. So, do we really want it? That's the question.
Mm.
Erica, this has been amazing. One of the best sessions I've had, if I'm being honest, because, I feel like we
Thank you.
have to start to talk about these
We got to
things.
talk
Like
about
I
it.
said, we got to be transparent about it, and we really have to tap into what's going on the inside of us. And those boundaries are such an important part of that. And I know so many Black women specifically that struggle with this. So I really appreciate you so much. Tell folks if they're interested in scheduling a session with you, or at least having an introductory call with you, what's the best way for them to reach you?
Yes, you can just go to yourgoalconcierge.com. That's yourgoalconcierge.com. Click 15-minute try on session. I also have a freebie right now. It's a boundaries guide for leaders, and you just go to www.healyourselfgrow.org, and it will take you to your own ebook. It's an 11-page ebook. It goes through all the categories and it helps you write out boundaries.
I love it. Healyourselfgrow.org. And
Yes.
then also, if you want to book your try on session for 15 minutes, go to yourgoalconcierge.com. Wonderful. This was fantastic, Erica. This really gave me, re-energized me today on a day when I needed it. So I greatly appreciate you. Again, make sure you reach out to Erica. She is licensed and she is available and she is amazing. So make sure you go get your 15-minute trial on session at yourgoalconcierge.com, as well as grab the ebook on setting boundaries as a leader at healyourselfgrow.org. Thank you again, Erica. This was fantastic, and you have a wonderful day.